everybody. Good morning. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Pam from Old Hippie Homesteaders. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to our home. Thank you for watching and liking and subscribing. So the reason for today's video is last week I did a thing called YouTube video shorts, where they're just little snippets of a video, 60 seconds or less, 1 minute or less. So the one I did was, I showed you my sterilized water. I have been inundated with questions. Pam, show us, could you please do a video? Please do a video, please do a video. Because I tried, when I saw the people's questions, I tried answering the questions. They didn't understand. They wanted to see a video, which is totally understandable. I get it. I have to see something to learn, you know. So this is sterilized water. I sterilized this in 2018. Okay. Now a lot of people are going to say, what's the point? Can't you just go buy water? You know, water lasts a long time. Well, no, it doesn't. Water does not last a long time, especially if you don't store it correctly. It doesn't last a long time. If it's stored in plastic, that plastic starts to break down. You don't want those chemicals in your water. And if it's not done correctly and sterilized at a high pressure, you're going to have bacteria, okay? So a couple of the questions that I got is, one of the ladies says, I don't know how to pressure can. Can this work if I do the water bath canning method? Yes. Yes, it can. You can do water bath, use the water bath method, or you can do the pressure canning method. Now, I prefer the pressure canning method just because I very, very rarely water bath anymore. Very rarely. Because we don't go through a lot of jams. A lot of the foods that you can water bath, we don't go through a lot of. What we do go through a lot of is the meats and the vegetables and the soups. That's what mostly that I focus on is the pressure can, for the pressure canning. So if I have a load of meat in the pressure canner and it's not a full load, a full canner load, I'll put in a few jars of water or, you know, one jar, whatever. Now, according to the extension service at UC Davis and USDA, all of that, you can do both methods because they go over 212 degrees. Now, there's one bacteria that does not get killed in either of these methods, and it's I can't pronounce it. It's like Campylobacter. I will put the name in the video description that it does not kill. But if you have that in your water, you have a water problem anyway, way beyond canning. You have a bad water problem. So I take water out of my faucet. You can use water in a jug that you buy from the store. You can use the water that comes out of your refrigerator on the door. You can, you know, any of those. You can also, there are people that just want to go one step farther and they boil the water first before they put it in the jar. I don't do that. It's not recommended that you have to do that. That's just one extra step. But if it makes you feel comfortable, go ahead and you can boil that water before you put it in a jar. Now you're going to use all of the security measures that you use when you're canning. You want to sterilize your jars, the seals, the rings. You want to, like for the water bath and the pressure canning, both of them are 10 minutes, okay? Now you also want to, if you're pressure canning, don't forget to do the pressure canning rules. Just because it's water doesn't mean you can throw the rules of pressure canning out the window. I live at high elevation, which I use 15 pounds of pressure. So don't forget to do that. And the same with your water bath canning. If you're over 1,000 feet elevation, adjust it just like you normally would when you're canning your food, okay? Don't get sloppy. So today I'm going to show you side by side both methods. It's as easy as pouring water into a jar. You guys are going to be just like shocked that it's so easy. Now some of you are saying, why are you sterilizing water? Seriously. Okay. The big reason for us is medical. If you have a medical emergency that needs sterile water, you've got it. You also have it if you have to make formula for a baby. If shit hits the fan, you've got your sterilized water right there. I keep a jar of sterilized water in my medical preps in my car. You just never know. You can also drink it in an emergency. There's many, look it up. There's many reasons for sterilized water, okay? Many reasons. Now, this will keep for years. It'll keep for years. I don't know the exact amount of years, but I know it'll keep longer than having water in a plastic jug, sitting out in the garage or whatever, okay? So let me get everything together. I'm going to be doing pints today, and they're just now finished in the dishwasher. So let me get everything together, and I will show you. I will do each thing at the same time. I will do water canning and pressure canning at the same time, okay? So this is really easy, guys. It's really easy. Now let me tell you, when we were evacuated from our fire last year, we went to a hotel. Our sons stayed here. Other people stayed in this part of our area. They refused to leave also. Word got around, and come to find out, somebody was needing baby formula and diapers. I had them. I also had the sterile water, which they needed. So the preps don't only help me, I was able to help another family that did not evacuate. They took the sterile water, they took the formula. I buy formula in the little single-use packets. They also took the diapers. So I helped I wasn't here to see it because I was at a hotel, but my preps helped other people. So you have to keep that in mind. Family first, but also if you have enough, you share with others. So let me get everything together. This is so easy, guys. This is so easy. Thank you for all the questions. I tried to answer all the questions in the comment section, and a lot of people need to see, they need to have a hands-on, they need to see it physically done before they understand it, which, hey, I get it. I'm the same way. So let me get everything together. Let me quit my blabbing, and I will bring you back, and we'll get this kicked out today. And you're just going to love it. It's just one more skill that you have that other people don't have. Always keep learning. Never stop learning. Always keep learning. Try something new. If you don't like it, don't do it again. But always keep learning and pass down your skills. That's why we started this channel, to help others. And I just love it. I just absolutely love it. So let me get it together. I promise I'll stop talking. And we'll get this video kicked out super easy peasy. Okay, guys, just hold on real quick. Okay, guys, so I have everything assembled, all ready to go. I've got my cheat sheet over here in case there's anything that I forget to tell you. I know how to do this. I just want to make sure that it's done through the proper channels, okay? So I've got my pressure canner here, and I'm using, this is the pot that I'm using for the water bath. I have cold water in each one. Now remember, I'm not going to go into detail on how to teach you to water bath. But just remember that your jar has to be completely submerged under the water when you do the water bath canning. So I've got them both. Everything is the same. There's nothing different. It's just one's a pot and one's the pressure canner. Okay? Oops. Okay, so when you save water, that's only good for about a year, okay? When you can your water, it stays fresh for basically decades. Now, a lot of people are going to say, why are you wasting, your jars on water? Well, it's safer, guys. It's much safer. If it goes bad, water that's stored in glass will keep for decades if you properly sterilize it, okay? And so let me see here real quick if I got everything together. So once again, it's perfectly fine to water bath just your plain water. This is the water that I got out of my faucet. And but keep in mind, you do not add anything to the water. No nutrients, no sugar. If you're trying to make electrolyte solution, do not do that. This has to be made with plain water without anything at all added, okay? Now, some people, like I said, like to boil their water first. You don't have to. It's not a big deal. You don't have to, okay? Let me see here. Make sure you do the elevation. I'm going through my notes here. Some people say that water bathing, the water is 10 minutes sufficient. Others insist on 20. I'm going to do, I do 10 for the pints and I do 20 for the quarts. That's just how I do it. But if you have pints and you want to be more comfortable, do the full 20 minutes then, okay? It's just water. You're not going to ruin it. Let's see. I think that's it. Let me check my notes here real quick, guys. Okay. So you're just going to take your water and remember the fill line. Don't go over the fill line. Just because you're doing water doesn't mean you can cut corners on your canning, okay? There's 1. 2. And this is 3. Now I know I don't have a full pressure canner load, so I'm going to be wasting propane to heat this, but I have a lot of this water stored up. Now the place I store it, I just store it on my counter in my pantry. Next to my, soups and stews and stuff, I've got water. So you're still going to wipe the rim off. You still want to wipe the rim off because you don't want to have anything under that seal, okay? Put on your seals. Put on your rings, finger tight, not King Kong tight. Okay? All right. Now, some people think it's okay to leave that like that, and you don't have to can it. That's not true. That is not true. So I'm going to be turning them on at the same time. Okay, I'm turning them on high at the same time. I'm going to be putting, can you guys see this? Let's move this over here. Okay, I'm putting 2 in here. Now the reason I have cold water. If you heat these waters up and then put these jars in with the cold water, your jar is going to burst. Okay, don't waste that canning jar on a broken jar. So cold water, just like when you're doing your vegetables and your jellies and things like that, okay? So I'm putting 2 in here, and I'm putting 1 in here. Okay, now let me show you. Pressure canner doesn't take a lot of water, but when you do the hot bath or the water bath canning, the jar has to be submerged. You're basically boiling it, okay? So now I'm going to be putting the lid on. And the lid. You still go by the same pressure canning rules, guys. You let this vent for 10 minutes, okay? And then you put the rattler on. Okay, so I'm going to bring you back when these are done. I am going to be, the time that I am using is going to be 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. We'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to get back on here. Everything is boiling and cooking and the water's doing its stuff. Another reason that I like to use my pressure canner is when you use those big water bath canners, that's a lot of water. That's a lot of water to waste. And up here where we live, we're usually in a drought, and I prefer using less water. So that's why I prefer using my pressure canner, okay? Now, like I said, don't forget to adjust if you're going to be doing the water bath. If it's over 1,000 feet elevation, you have to make adjustments just like you normally do when you're canning food. Same with your pressure canner. I'm high elevation. I do 15 pounds of pressure. Just don't cut any corners, okay? And let me check one more thing here. Let me check one more thing real quick, guys. So you can, your states have a thing called the state extension agencies. They differ from state to state. You know me, I'm a rebel canner. And everybody says you're going to kill your family. I usually go by our state. They have, it's called UC Davis Extension Office. They have a lot of, that's my go-to if I have any questions. Now, one thing that I wanted to tell you, you don't have to use this sterilized water just for medical. If you don't want to use it for medical, if you say, I don't have any medical problems, well, I have a breathing machine for my asthma. It calls for purified or sterilized water. There's one there. I don't know about CPAP machines. They might call for sterilized or purified water. I don't know. I know that if there was a medical emergency here, I would prefer sterilized water over tap water. And if you don't want to do any of that, you just want to can it for drinking, kudos. Because if you use the plastic bottles, those only last about a year before they start breaking down. And you don't want those chemicals in your water. You don't want the jug to tear either or burst. So you can have a whole pantry full of sterilized water. That's your drinking water, okay? Now let me see here. I was trying to find what FEMA has to say, which I normally don't care what FEMA has to say. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see here what it says, how much water per person. Let's see here. Okay. Oh. Okay, so what I'm reading here from our extension office at UC Davis, it says pressure canning is quicker. Instead of bringing a full water bath canner to a boil, you're only bringing a few inches to a boil to get that going. Let's see. I'm trying to find FEMA, and I had it on here a minute ago. Oh, here's the, okay. You want it over 212 degrees. The water has to get over 212 degrees, and that goes way past it for pressure canning and water bath canning, okay? And I'm still trying to find FEMA, guys. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, found the FEMA. Okay, it says how much water should you store? Now, it depends on your situation. If you want to store water just for medical uses or formula or like your breathing machines and things like that, or if you want to do it for cooking and washing. So FEMA says, let's see, FEMA recommends a gallon of water per person per day. Half of it for drinking, the other half for cooking and washing. All right? And it says here, preparing for a week-long emergency, you'll need 7 gallons of water per person. So that's a gallon per day, 7 days, that's 7 gallons of water. A flat of quart-sized mason jars holds 3 gallons. That's a little bit more than 2 flats per person, but that's still a lot of jars, okay? But you have to do like your area. If you have an outside water source, if you have a source of water on your home or your homestead, you might not need to store up that much water. So just kind of do what, floats your boat, what fits with your family. Okay, so this is getting ready to get done. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So these 2 are pressure can. And that's water bath. There you go, guys. 3 pints of emergency water. Whether you want to use it for medical or drinking, there you go. That's how easy it is. Peace out, guys. Have a cool day.